In my 20 years of covering cases in Alabama, I've heard several politicians claim that prosecutors targeted them for political reasons. Former Governor Don Siegelman, probably the most prominent. So when the governor, actually when the president of the United States made that claim that his case was politically motivated, we decided to ask the former governor about justice system integrity. The first former U.S. president charged with a crime is convinced the case against him is politically motivated. A legal arena former Governor Don Siegelman knows well. He was charged in a federal bribery case while running against Governor Bob Riley.
The judge refused to allow us to introduce evidence to the jury that the prosecutor's husband was on the campaign payroll of one of my opponents.
That's what Siegelman believes sets his political prosecution claims apart from many others.
I think that President Trump has to prove to the jury that there is some political motivation.
Former federal judge John Carroll says while Trump's new indictment could affect public opinion, it would not disqualify him from taking back the White House.
If he is convicted between now and then, how does that affect his ability to run for president?
He could run for president. You can be a president and be a felon.
Siegelman lost his 2006 Democratic primary in the middle of his federal trial, weeks before his conviction. 17 years later, he feels prosecutors are still not above political influence.
Justice is in the hands of those people who hold the power, prosecutors and judges. If they want to manipulate the system, they can do it.
After being released from prison 6 years ago, Siegelman penned a book titled Stealing Our Democracy. Well, Carroll actually believes that the case against former President Donald Trump could still be pending when the presidential election rolls around in November of 2024. Also, he does not believe he will serve any prison time if he is convicted. Live in Birmingham, John Papke, WBTM 13.